Hey YouTubers, welcome to the Cyber Overwatch channel. I am Pragmatic One. In this video, I will be covering what Active Reconnaissance is and the common uses for it during a pen test engagement. I'll provide an overview of what Active Reconnaissance is, the process involved to execute it, common tools available, along with techniques and best practices. If you find this content informative and you are interested in cybersecurity, please like and subscribe to the Cyber Overwatch channel. Also, for more free content, please regularly check back on cybersec.com. In cybersecurity, penetration testing represents a systematic approach to evaluating and fortifying system security by identifying exploitable vulnerabilities. A pivotal phase in the penetration testing lifecycle is reconnaissance, where critical intelligence about the target infrastructure is collected. Reconnaissance is classified into two distinct categories: passive and active reconnaissance. Passive reconnaissance involves the extraction of information from public and indirect sources, avoiding any direct interaction with the target environment. Active reconnaissance, on the other hand, involves direct engagement with the target host or network, leveraging probing techniques to extract detailed and actionable information. In this video, I will examine the methodology underpinning active reconnaissance, emphasizing the strategic role it plays in the pen test lifecycle. I will examine some tools and techniques employed to engage target hosts effectively. Hopefully, by the conclusion of this video, I will have provided a good understanding of active reconnaissance practical implementation and its critical importance in identifying vulnerable hosts and networks. Active reconnaissance refers to the process of directly interacting with the target host to gather information such as open ports, running services, user accounts, and potential vulnerabilities. Unlike passive reconnaissance, there are risks to active reconnaissance methods, such as detection by the target's security operations and service interruptions for the target. Active reconnaissance is a structured and methodical process designed to gather detailed information about a target host or network. I will cover some basic steps typically followed during this phase of a penetration test. Although this is not necessarily a step in the active reconnaissance process, it must be noted that obviously before attempting any kind of pen test, it is important to make sure that there is proper approval. This should technically be completed in a pre-engagement phase. In general, it is important to gain a good understanding of compliance and legal boundaries prior to starting an engagement. Identifying live hosts during a pen test engagement is crucial, as it allows you to focus on active hosts, reducing the chances of false positives, providing for more accurate results. It provides scope clarity by understanding the network size. It allows you to prioritize your efforts. It can also provide a baseline for pre- and post-engagement network state. As an example, if my scope is the entire Class C range, I will want to know what devices are live on the network. When I say live, I mean it responds when receiving an ICMP echo request from my system. Looking at the Nmap output, I can see there are several hosts Nmap has designated as up because Nmap received responses during the ping sweep. Although send scans take longer than ping sweeps, I prefer to run them because I've experienced where sysadmins disabled ping on their systems. Port scanning during a pen test engagement provides several benefits for identifying potential entry points and assessing the security posture of a target host. It allows for service identification, attack surface mapping, version detection, misconfiguration detection, firewall, and IPS evaluation. It also assists with prioritizing which hosts or service to target based on the potential risks. Performing a port scan is important when you start prioritizing your targets, as it allows you to get a good idea of 1. Open ports, and 2. What services may be running on them. If I look at this example, the host has several ports open, and doing more research, I can find out if it is more likely a Windows or Linux host, and the possible types of vulnerabilities that may exist on the host. Service enumeration allows pen testers to gain in-depth insights into the services running on open ports of a target system. The information gathered can be valuable for identifying potential vulnerabilities and for planning exploitation strategies. Performing service enumeration will assist even more for prioritizing targets, as it allows you to confirm with a greater degree of certainty the services running on the target host and even obtain version data. If I look at this example, reviewing the open ports, I can tell if the host is running old versions. Researching the version numbers can help confirm the types of vulnerabilities that may exist on the host. OS detection provides pen testers fundamental insights about the target host's security posture. Understanding the target host's OS helps pen testers tailor their exploit strategies, identify vulnerabilities, and get a better idea of the security mechanisms possibly employed on the target host. Performing OS detection will help when it comes to planning and testing an exploit strategy. Knowing the OS of the target host allows for the proper selection of exploit methods and payloads. It makes no sense to try to exploit a Windows host with a Linux exploit payload, as an example. Network mapping provides pen testers an overview of a target's infrastructure. This allows for a good understanding of the network layout, connections, and relationships within a network. Network mapping can identify devices, their roles, and the paths data takes between them. Performing network mapping is helpful in that it allows for the visualization of a target network. Discovering hosts, firewalls, network devices, and other security devices will allow for the tailoring of an attack strategy. In this example, performing a trace route, I can see how many hops to the target host, and I can more easily identify possible network devices. Vulnerability scanning is critical overall to cybersecurity because it systematically identifies potential weaknesses and vulnerabilities in a target host or network. This provides pen testers a bridge between reconnaissance and exploitation, providing a structured way to detect and analyze vulnerabilities. Performing vulnerability scanning is helpful in discovering vulnerabilities and weaknesses in a target host. One thing of note, depending on the objectives of the pentest engagement, you will not want to perform vulnerability scanning if one of the objectives is to be as stealthy as possible. Vulnerability scanners are extremely loud. In this example, Nessus detected a few vulnerabilities on the target host. Web app scanning is crucial to pen testers due to the growing reliance on web-based services and the increasing complexity of web apps. The applications often handle sensitive data, making them a prime target for attackers. A web application scan identifies vulnerabilities and misconfigurations that could lead to data breaches, unauthorized access, and other security risks. Performing web app scanning is helpful in discovering vulnerabilities and weaknesses affecting the hosted web app. Again, if one of the objectives is to be stealthy, then you may want to stay away from automated scanners. Documenting findings for a pen tester is important because it ensures that vulnerabilities, insights, and weaknesses discovered during an engagement are properly communicated to the stakeholders. Documenting findings should be occurring as the active recon techniques are being executed because the information is fresh on the mind. Well-documented notes allows for actionable attack strategies for the exploitation phase of pen testing. With the data gathered from active reconnaissance, it allows the pen tester to develop a structured approach to exploiting identified vulnerabilities. It ensures that the tester's actions are purposeful, efficient, and aligned with the testing objectives while minimizing risks to the target host. Active reconnaissance relies on specialized tools that interact with the target host to extract valuable information. Below are some of the popular tools used by pen testers. Nmap is one of the most widely used tools for network discovery and security auditing. It offers a range of scanning options to gather information about a target host. For a more detailed walkthrough of using Nmap, check out my Nmap Scan All the Things series. Netcat is a versatile tool for network exploration and debugging. It's often called the Swiss Army knife of networking tools. Metasploit is a powerful framework that includes a range of tools for reconnaissance, exploitation, and post-exploitation. Nikto is a web app scanner that helps identify vulnerabilities and misconfigurations in web servers. Active reconnaissance involves directly interacting with the target system, network, or application to gather detailed information about its structure, vulnerabilities, and configuration. This necessitates the use of several methods, not all will be discussed here, to obtain that information. Some of these methods are part of the steps taken in the Active Recon process section because Active Recon requires a methodical approach to gathering target data. In this section, I discussed a variety of methods that can be used during Active Recon. Port scanning is the process of sending packets to a range of ports on the target host to identify which ones are open and which services they are possibly running. Tools like Nmap and Netcat are commonly used for this purpose. Banner grabbing involves connecting to the service, example given a web server or FTP server, and capturing the response, which often includes information about the software and version. Network mapping is the process of identifying the structure of a network, including its devices and connections. The use of network mapping allows for a pen tester to gain a better understanding of the network layout and possibly determine the use of firewalls, IDS, IPS, and other security devices. Service enumeration involves probing open ports to gather detailed information about the running services. Tools like Nmap and Metasploit can be used to enumerate services in order to determine their version and potentially discover vulnerabilities. DNS enumeration involves gathering information about a domain, including subdomains, mail servers, and configurations, allowing a pen tester to gain valuable information about the structure and assets of a target network. Vulnerability scanning involves scanning target hosts to identify known vulnerabilities in services, systems, or configurations. Tools like Nessus, OpenVAS, and Nexpose are commonly used to detect vulnerabilities affecting the target host's open ports and running services. For a more detailed overview of Nessus, please check out my video, Nessus Essentials: Beginner's Guide to Running Scans. Web servers are often a rich source of information. Tools like Nikto, Burp Suite, and Zap can uncover issues like outdated software, default files, and security misconfigurations. Active reconnaissance can be highly effective in gathering detailed information about a target when performed methodically. On the flip side, there are also risks to haphazardly performing active reconnaissance to include, for example, detection for the pen tester and service interruption for the target. While there are no set-in-stone best practices for active reconnaissance, there is plenty of information available on the internet to assist in conducting active reconnaissance safely and efficiently. Active Reconnaissance is a critical piece of pen testing methodology, providing the insights needed to uncover vulnerabilities and develop effective attack strategies. By mastering Active Reconnaissance techniques and tools like Nmap, Netcat, Metasploit, and Nikto, you can significantly enhance your penetration testing capabilities. Thank you for tuning into this video, Active Reconnaissance Decoded, an essential for assessing a target. Thank you for also checking out the Cyber Overwatch channel. If you find this content informative and you are interested in cybersecurity, please like and subscribe to the Cyber Overwatch channel. For more free content, check out the www.cybersec.com website found in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a question in the comments, or you can send me a message from the CyberSec website listed in the description. Until next time, keep learning. The only way to improve is to keep learning. Pragmatic One, signing off.